Please open with prayer. Father God, thank you so much for this night. Thank you for getting everyone here safely. Thank you for sports. Thank you for all the students. Thank you for the parents and the grandparents and the aunts and the uncles and sisters and brothers and cousins and just everyone who's involved in making a successful team and a successful season, and the countless hours that everyone has spent in gyms and driving and just everything, Lord. We thank you for all of that. We thank you for the blessings that you've given to us, and just help make this night successful and get everyone home safely. Thank you. So I want to welcome everyone. It's been a couple years since we've had a sports award ceremony, but thank the Lord that everything is finally kind of returned back to normal, and I think we've had very successful sports seasons this year. We had a few injuries, but it still was very, very successful. I do want to say thank you to, like I said in my prayer, all the parents, the kids, the cousins, aunts, grandparents, uncles, siblings. It takes a lot to run a sports program, and I appreciate all the support you've given your student athletes, and all the faithfulness, the dedication, the support for the coaches, just the interaction with your teammates. I have so much respect for athletes because it is a lot to go to games, go to practices, keep up with homework, keep up with schoolwork, studying for finals. There's some of the schools that we travel to are pretty far away, and it's a lot of travel time. It's a lot of eating on the road and, sitting in the back of a van calling out quizzes, to study for quizzes and tests to each other, and sitting on the sidelines between games. And it's a lot. Some of these children also work, and I don't know that I could do it. So I have the utmost respect for athletes. But thank you to everyone else that's involved in making a successful program and making a successful year. So just to start off, Mrs. Minaya, where are you? Oh, will you come up? So Mrs. Minaya has been the volleyball coach for many, many years. Decided that this year was going to be the last year, and that's a little bit heartbreaking. She's been a tremendous mentor, a tremendous friend. Just with my girls alone, she's taught them so much about volleyball. She's taught them about basketball, but she's taught them a lot about life. She spends a lot of time sitting and talking with students, and she gets to know kids personally, and some kids like that, some kids don't. but I know without any doubt in my heart how much she loves each individual student, and how much she prays for each individual student, and has a care and concern in her heart for each individual student. I know how often she talks to us in the office about students, and it's not just, well, this child did this or this child did that, but it is with a true burden, a true godly burden in her heart for the lives of students, both physically and mentally, but also spiritually. She is a deeply, deeply praying woman, and she prays over every single one of her students. And very, very sad to see her go. Yes. So we do have just a small gift for her and some flowers. And so I just want to say thank you so much. I just want to say thank you so much to her and for all the countless hours that she has spent at games, driving students, talking to students, coaching students. In PE, she uses that time to work with students to try to teach them about the sports, and I just appreciate her very much. So, thank you. I'm going to call her back up in a little bit for volleyball. I'm going to call Coach Zach up, and he's going to explain something we're doing different this year. He's going to kind of explain that, and then he will get started with the first coach of the night. Okay, thank you so much.
So I just wanted to say that this year, something that we've done in the past and that we are starting again is we are doing athletic letters for varsity athletes. And so if you are a varsity athlete, you should get a varsity athletic letter tonight. But you only get one in your entire athletic career at this school. And so if you get it, keep it, and you'll have it for how many ever years. If you're a sixth grader and you played varsity and you get a letter tonight, you will not get another letter for the rest of your sports playing here. And so just want to let you know that. And so some of you may even get letters, your volleyball letter, but you won't get another letter when you get to basketball if you played varsity on both. Also, we have pins. And so there's pins in the shape of a volleyball, pins in the shape of a basketball. Same thing, those are for the varsity athletes in each of those sports, and so you'll get one of those. If you play multiple years, you get a bar each year after that. And so since we're starting it this year, we're starting at ground zero, and so nobody's getting any bars this year. But next year, those of you that already have a letter and a pin in the shape of the ball of your sport or whatever it is, then next year you'll get bars and stuff like that. So you can load up your bars, get a Letterman jacket, all those sorts of cool, sporty, I don't know, whatever things. So anyways, Mr. Bray and Miss Bray are going to come up, or Mr. Bray is going to come up for boys varsity volleyball.
We had a lot of fun this year. There's always a lot of enthusiasm when the season starts. Somewhere in the season, I get a lot of strange looks about the things I ask them to do, but we managed to have a good time. Sometimes away trips turn into... It's more interesting taking the trip than playing the game occasionally, but as I said, we do have a good time. I want to thank all the guys for playing this year. They really... They put their hearts into it, and I thoroughly enjoyed coaching. As I call your name, if you'll come up and get your award, and then stand here on the platform until we're done. All right? Jalen Pons. Tyler Dixon. DJ Medlock. Derek Medlock. Aiden Platt. Carson Stoudemore. Alex Stoudemore. Richard Santos. I should have told you all to move down front when I got up here. Sean Branson. Evan McDonald. I also wanted to highlight some individuals from the team about some things that they did. First of all, I gave our Best Offense Award to Sean Branson. These awards didn't make it in, but we'll get to it. All right? Okay. Secondly, I gave an award for the most, this was actually kind of difficult, because we actually had several people who were really good at being consistent about servers. It may have been something about push-ups and serves, I don't remember. But anyway, the most consistent server for our team, Derek Medlock. I gave him an award for the best save of the entire year, and sadly he's not here, for Tyler Dixon. And then the MVP for our team is our senior and captain and solid rock, Evan McDonald. Thank you, guys. Mrs. Manaya and Ms. Belisario are going to come up and give the awards to the girls.
Could the JV girls please come up? JV volleyball. We had a good season. We had a mixed team that had about half that had never played before and half that played before. There was a lot of learning, but a ton of improvement from the beginning of the season, and we are so proud of all these girls and how much they improved. First one is Gabrielle Johnson. Next is Tiana Medlock. Michaela Adams. And Emma Studham. Okay, I have individual awards. So we have, for best attitude, she had great attendance and great sportsmanship. She always listened to us and was always eager to learn. I remember the first day of practice that I came in, I dove and she was like, "That's so cool, can you teach me?" And I'm like, "Sure, I'm gonna teach you." And then from then on, she was like, "This is great." And she was always part of practicing. She was just a great asset to the team, and she had never played before, and she was actually pretty good for never playing before. So this goes to Gabby Johnson. This next one, she's super quiet, and I don't think I've heard 5 words from her all season, but she spoke at the service line and scored more than 75 points in serving. And the serving award is for Michaela Adams. Next up is, she's a great all-around player. She's a strong server, and she's pretty good at setting, even though she doesn't think so. And we have big plans for her in the future. And the Cornerstone Award goes to Tiana Medlock. And this next one, she's our team captain. She is super passionate about sports. She has good sportsmanship. All the girls look up to her, and she's hard on herself. But I hope that she knows that we think she's pretty fantastic. The MVP is Emma Stone. And that's all I've got for you guys. Okay, could Varsity come up?
It was turned over. So, here's step forward, guys. Step forward. Yes.
So this past Sunday, Brother Eddie was saying in church how we are born with a need for recognition, and how some sports teams would do better because the crowd's into it and giving the players a recognition. And these girls totally love the cheer section. So if you guys could all come to every single game next year, it would be great. We did great this year. We were 13-5, and we placed first in the tournament. We have 2 8th graders, 3 juniors, and 3 seniors. And we're really going to miss our seniors. They played hard and tough all season. Even when we had an unexpected injury from our team captain, we pulled through and ended up coming in first place. We love every single one of these girls, and we're so proud of them. First one is Gabby Johnson. Next is Emma Stoutemore. The next is Abby Albaran. Emily Kroll. Giselle Acosta. Team captain Lauren Sadowski. And team captain Jordan Platt. And for individual awards, the first one is, this player was, the serving award, sorry, it's a serving award. She's an all-around consistent player, and she scored over 161 points this year from serves, and that is Abby O'Leary. The next is most improved. At the beginning of the season, she struggled with serving a little bit. We taped up her elbow real good, and we straightened out her serve a little. And towards the end of the season, she was way more consistent. And it goes to Giselle Acosta. This next one is she's our setter, and she's absolutely everywhere on the court. She's tiny but tough. She scored over 150 points serving, and she's got a great attitude and good sportsmanship. And the cornerstone goes to Emily Cole. The next one is she's a team captain and a leader. She's out there to get the job done. She's an all-around great player, and she pulls the team together. And she's our other cornerstone, Lauren Sadowski. And then we have our team captain, our other team captain and leader. She's super hardworking, great attitude and sportsmanship. I could probably stand up here for an hour and tell you other things about her. She pulls the team together. You know you're good when you make a plan and the other team's coach high-fives you in the middle of the game. So the MVP goes to Jordan Platt. And I just wanted to thank the parents for entrusting us with your kids, and we're looking forward to next season. Thank you.
Coach Jordan Fair is going to come up to announce his varsity boys team.
First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to ask all the boys to come up. And Coach he'll come up as well. Okay, great. Appreciate that. Faster than slow, please. So first of all, once they all eventually get here, I would like to thank Miss Lisa. I'd like to thank Brother Eddie. I'd like to thank Miss Macario, Miss Creasy, Miss Hollis, Mr. Shepard, Miss Hapola. They cleaned up the gym. I believe every single good program, the foundation is the school, the faculty, all the teachers. You guys are just as important as the coaches and the people that play on the team. So I want to first thank all of you for everything you've done for myself as well as the team. I know we're not always easy to deal with, but I promise our hearts are in a good place, and we appreciate you. So, I kind of want to do this backwards. I'm going to give some individual awards, and then I'll kind of give some of their team accolades and the things that they accomplished. I'll start off by saying playing for me is very difficult, so they all deserve an award for that just in general. I'm very demanding, and I think they'll laugh, but they all know that it's very hard. So if we got a certificate for that, let's give that out first. So first award that I have is in this young man could win multiple awards, but is the Cornerstone Award. This award to me means just someone that is your solid rock, someone that comes in with a great attitude, very hard worker, gives 110%, someone you can always rely on to contribute to your team in a positive way, and that's Willie Shepard. The next award I'm going to give is, I'm against this award, but I'm going to give it out anyways, is the best offensive player. I think I'm the best offensive player on the team. But I'm going to give out this award anyways to a young man that's new to our school this year. He's an outstanding young man, great attitude, very coachable, has some offensive skill, Braylon Jackson. The next award I'm going to give to a young man that you know is kind of like a pest. You know, someone you just want to like get away from. Stop texting me. Stop calling me. He always in the gym. Always wants to work hard. You know, relentless worker. Always wanting to know when I'm going to be there, what time I'm going to be there, when am I going to be there till. And the hardest worker award I'm going to give to Joe Harrison. My last award, and I told this story on senior night, and I'm going to tell it again. I'm sorry, Mr. Patterson. I'm going to tell it again. This story is about a young man that when he was a junior in high school, sophomore in high school, excuse me, I sat him down and I said, listen, you know, I think, and please no one take offense to this, I said, I think you eat too many donuts, I think you don't work hard, I don't think you're very serious about basketball, so I don't think this is the right, you know, team for you to play on. I think you should explore other options. You know, this man looked me in my face and said, I'm going to prove you wrong. And he worked extremely hard. He did everything I asked him to do. He became our leading scorer, our leading rebounder. He was first team All-State in SIAA and has signed a full athletic basketball scholarship, and that's Willie Patterson. So, sorry I had to tell that story, Mr. Patterson. But you did a good job getting him here. Absolutely. And the last thing I'll do, and then I'll turn it over to Zach and Tommy, is I'll just give a couple of their accolades as a team. Hopefully, you guys were able to, you know, come out and watch these guys play. But you know, these guys were, you know, ranked as high as number 18 in the country amongst all private schools. They beat 2 to 3 nationally ranked high school programs. They finished the season ranked number 20 in the country overall, and again, that's nationwide amongst all private schools in the country. So these young men, again, played a very difficult schedule. You know, and again, we were the only school in Tampa, regardless of class, to be nationally ranked inside of basketball in Tampa. So again, amazing accomplishment for these young men. Parents, I appreciate you allowing me to coach these guys. You know, they're outstanding. I don't have a bunch of you know, presents to give you, but I do promise to always be here for you if you need me. And I do promise you always will have a place in Oldsmar. So appreciate you all. Appreciate everyone that contributed. Maybe they have a letter. Oh, they do have a letter. Zach said they did. I'll give those out to you guys. You just got to run 10 sprints before you get them. Okay. Next is Mr. Platt and Mr. Tommy Platt, who I appreciate, and Mr. Zach, who I appreciate next.
Sorry, I'm ready. I just want to say a couple things. I do want to echo what so many people the other coaches have already said, which is just thank you to everybody. Thank you to the parents, to other coaches, to teachers, to Miss Kroll, and everybody involved. It's been I'm going to talk a lot, but we have done this together, and you know, Tommy does so much, but we're just so thankful for everybody that's here and that's a part and that's really cheering on the kids and in it for the kids. And so we just really appreciate all of that. I want to say thank you to all of those people and everybody for your hard work. We want to have our JV boys team go ahead and come up here. I'm going to take this off. So we actually we have 4 teams that we're going to announce, and so we won't take too much time for each one. And it may not look like it right now, but there are actually 17 boys that play on this JV team. Many of them are here, and we're so glad that they're here tonight. But 17 boys. We ran practices starting right after school, girls and then boys, and we ran from 3:30 till 6. And we would have 20-something boys come in every afternoon at like 4:30 or 5, and it was intense. And I'll say that a lot of the reason that it was intense was these guys right here. They are just energetic. They're ready to go. There's one thing that I would say about both of our boys' teams is just their excitement and readiness to play and to do all the things. And just we had moments of devastation when there was a loss or some terrible thing was happening. It's like you think that the guys are going to be, maybe, and this is stereotypical, so if you are upset about this, I'm sorry, but you think that the guys would be less emotional maybe than the girls, and it was almost exactly the opposite this year. Our boys were the most emotional, and a lot of times in a good way. We would be at practice and the girls would leave and the boys would walk in, and we would say, if the girls had their level of energy, they would come in just from the start, just jumping around, doing all the kind of things that they needed to do. And so it was just an exciting team, and they were just pumped up and worked so hard this year. We actually had the second best record in the entire tournament. In the league. We lost 2 regular season games only to the same team. It was Spring Hill each time, and we wanted one more chance. We wanted one more chance to play them. And we just missed out on that. Just by 1 point, we would have been in the tournament championship game to get there and play them. And there's lots of reasons, but these guys, I think, learned a lot and grew a lot this season and have a lot of learning and a lot of growing to do. And so we're excited to see what the future holds for them. And so if they all come back, then we're going to go ahead and win the championship next year and go undefeated all those sorts of things. So I'm just going to announce our boys. I will say, we're just appreciative of all these. First is Gianni Turk. Next is James Newton. Is Connor here? Chase Del Rosario. James McClure. Eric Hobbs. Tristan Corpora. Zachary Chichester. And Aiden Platt. And I will say, too, one thing we did this year, because we had 17 boys, we only traveled with 12, and so there were 7 guys that played every game, that came to every game, that worked hard every game, and we just appreciate all the guys. I'll tell you, for the 5 and the 10 that didn't come to every game, it was tough on them. Sometimes they'd be like, are we playing today? Are we playing today? And so we appreciate their enthusiasm and their effort, and than the guys who were just here and working hard every game. We totally appreciate them. We have a few awards that we want to announce, and we're just proud of these guys. These are some of the guys that were here and part of every game. So our first is for the most improved, and we actually have a couple of most improved this year. Oh no, we have one most improved. Sorry, thanks, Tommy. That's what I need. So our most improved this year was Cade Fago, and I'll just say, Cade, you may be like, and I think most improved is one of those that's tough because you're like, you know, he's worked hard. This is his second year that he's played with us, and there's a couple of guys. We will say this again probably in just a little bit, but it's not that he came in not playing well. He just really improved and really stepped up, even just from the beginning of the season compared to where he was last year. And you could just tell that he's been working over the summer. He's been practicing. He's been playing hard, and he was just ready to be a leader on the team and really stepped in and did a great job this year. And so we appreciate him. The next award is for our cornerstone, and this guy is a sixth grader. You know, just there's something about starting a sixth grader that's tough for me. But it was like at the beginning of the season, Tommy and I talked, and we were like, do we want to start Eli? Like, this is crazy. We probably shouldn't do it. By the end of the season, I was like, why were we even talking about it? We have to start this dude every game. He played in a varsity game. He became a leader as a sixth grader, a leader on the team. He worked so hard, and his potential is huge. And so, cornerstone on the team this year for us is Elijah Lingo. And then we have another cornerstone, and this guy just an eighth grader that has played for us before, and so you know, expectation is whatever it is. But I don't know if Derek just got so much better this year. I just didn't notice it as much last year, but he came in and was just taking the ball to the basket and doing all kinds of things that I hadn't seen him do before. He scored a bunch of points and was just a huge part of the team this year. And so we have cornerstone for Derek. And then our MVP this year, it's funny because we have had a conversation about this. And one of the cool things is we have really good, I'll say I didn't actually mention this, but we have people that take our stats for us. We printed out your stats, and so guys, we'll give those to you. Like if we have your stats for you, we'll give them. It's okay. But we had people that did our books for us and really kept tight books for us. And so we had all the stats throughout the season. And so it was, honestly, we just weren't 100% sure. We had some ideas of who the MVP might be as we went back, but when we looked at the stats, it really just confirmed who scored. And I think almost every single, I'm pretty sure there was one category only that this person did not lead the team in this particular category. And I don't even remember what it was, but it was like leading in points, it was assists. He led in every other category. Blocks, rebounds, points, every single category. He led the team this year, and it wasn't always like in the radar. Sometimes it was under the radar, like you just couldn't tell. We knew. We would sit in games and be like, man, what would we do without Jalen? He just would grab a rebound, drive down to the basket and score, and then run back and be ready for defense. Like you almost didn't notice it, except you did notice it. And so he was awesome this year. And so our MVP goes to Jalen. We appreciate these guys so much. You guys had a great season, and next year is our year undefeated, and we're going to win the championship.
Yes, sir.
We'll do it. We'll have your stats, so don't leave before I got papers for you. We'll give them to you in a little bit, but we're good to go. Thank you guys. You guys can head down. Varsity boys, if you want to, our varsity boys, if you want to come up. If you're already, thank you. There it is. Sorry, I'm just gonna try to sort out a couple that are not here. You guys, will you come down this way just a little bit closer so
Go
you're
all
not
the
so
way
far
here.
from me? I do want to say again, the boys that played on volleyball, you guys won't get another letter, but you will get a basketball pin. And so you'll have a pin. If you didn't play on volleyball and you played on this team, then you get a varsity letter for playing on this team. And so we're going to work to pass that out correctly, but if we don't do it correctly for whatever reason, then we will catch you when we catch you. All right, so I'll say a couple things real quickly about this team. Again, and this is partially what I was thinking of when I was thinking of just these guys worked so hard this year. We had 7 boys that played only varsity for whatever reason, mostly because they were too old to play JV, but they just played only varsity. We had a bunch of 8th graders that stuck around and sat the bench for us, came in as we needed them, worked hard with the varsity boys, and we had an up and down season. If I'm being completely honest, it was there were games where we were like, we figured it out. We are officially the best team in the conference right now, and I'm pretty sure we're going to go ahead and roll through the rest of our games and win every game. And then there were some games where we were like, I don't know if these guys have ever played basketball before, and I feel like we have failed. As coaches, we need to go back to the drawing board and start over. But it was just that kind of learning season where it's like you learn a lot from losing, you learn a lot from mistakes, and so we learned so much. We won a bunch, we lost a bunch, and we have one of the things that's cool about both of our teams is we don't have anybody that can't be on this team anymore. These are all not a senior on the group, so they're all can be back next year. And we played a lot of teams that had 3-4 seniors and that were a lot older than us and that had guys graduating. We don't have that, and so we just have room to just get better and better. And so it's exciting, and we really appreciate these guys. We want to mention our 8th graders. Avery Turk is not here, and I don't think Kamakona Lee is not here, but we appreciate them. We also have Derek Medlock and Aiden Platt. This next guy is just so tall and so just there, and he just is ready to go when you need him. He is always wanting to get into the game. He asks me so many times, if he's not playing, he's like, Coach, am I going in? Am I going in this quarter? Am I going in now? And usually it's like, yes, I'm going to put you in as soon as we can, and all those sorts of things. And so we're just excited. Jamel has been just an important part of this team for several years, and Jamel McNeely. Sorry, you can probably hear me whispering. It's not super subtle, but I'm going to work on it. All right, so the next is we actually have several awards that we're going to give out. Oh wait, I didn't see. My name is Zach Stoudemore, and my son Alex Stoudemore is just a huge part of the team. He is like a third coach, honestly. There was a couple games where I'm like, Alex, you need to tell people what to do and make sure that they know where they're going, all that sort of stuff. And he would sometimes, even if he didn't want him to, but he was always there, knew exactly where he was supposed to be, knew exactly where everybody was supposed to be. He is willing to go in anytime, play any position, and do whatever you ask him to do. And that's Alex Stoudemore. And I'm going to shake your hand because we don't have your certificate, but you have a letter and a pen, and he's my son, so I guess I'll be forgiven maybe eventually. All right, and so then we have a couple of awards that we want to announce. The first is one of our most improved, and that is just a guy who was just learning a lot, played on JV a lot last year, was a point guard actually on JV, but this year came in as kind of a backup role, as a totally different role. learning to be aggressive, learning to play with varsity, learning all these different things, which it's like JV is fun and exciting, but playing in varsity is just a different atmosphere a lot of times. And so one of our most improved and first like big minutes in varsity this year is Carson Stoutman. And then another, this is, we said it, oh, I do have a shirt. That's my fault. Sorry. You can see how organized I am. I apologize for that. And then this is one where we say most improved. Sometimes, again, it's like not saying they didn't come in ready to go or working hard. One thing about Sean is that it's seeing the growth that he's had over the last even few years. And then this year it was just, he just stepped up. It was crazy because there was a game where he didn't miss a free throw and he was pulling down rebounds and he was doing all kinds of things where you're like, yeah, we need this kid to be doing everything. Let's go. And he just really improved, and it was really stepped in there and became a leader on the team this year. And so we're just really proud of Sean Branson. And then Cornerstone this year is a guy who is just, I think, actually even from last year to this year really stepped up and he loves to shoot. He loves to shoot from anywhere. If he crosses half court, he is willing and ready to shoot, even if it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make all those, but he'll shoot them. And I'm pretty sure there was one game that we made like our first 5 or 6 three-pointers in a row. It was crazy, and we were just unstoppable on three-pointers. That was one where we were like, we're going to win the championship. We're ready to go. But this guy just was ready to play hard and tough this year, and as a cornerstone for our team, scored a lot of our points and was just a super important part to us, and that's DJ Medlock. And then another cornerstone for us, this guy is also, again, a hard worker, and, he is like one of my favorite players on the team sometimes, and then sometimes I'm like, Richard, you gotta go play, man, what are you doing? Because he just wanted it so bad. If it didn't come, he was struggling sometimes to just to move on from that. Sorry, Richard, I don't want to say anything. But he is just a hard-working kid, great attitude, and important leader to this team. Could run point guard if we needed him to, could score points when we needed it to, play tough defense when we needed it to, and was just a great, important part to us, and that's Richard Santos. And then last is just a guy who is actually the one varsity only guy that was on our team who could play JV. And I don't even think I realized it until towards the end of the season. Some of the guys were like, Jeremiah could have played JV. And I was like, oh yeah, that would have been cool. But he didn't play JV because in my mind it was just like he plays varsity. That's what he does. He was, again, like looking at the stats, and you could see it in the games. He was our stat leader in almost every category, scored most of our points, ran our offense, was just a leader on the court, and to be in 9th grade and do all those things is pretty awesome, and he is just our MVP this year, and we're just real proud of Jeremiah McNeil. All right, that's our boys. Thank you, guys. If our JV girls can come up here. we sorted our awards in the right order, but I didn't sort the certificates in the right order. That's my problem every time. We have less girls. As you can see, we had 11 total girls in both teams, and these were small teams. At one point during the season, we had girls that were hurt, girls that were out for whatever reason, and just different things that happened. And I think we had 5 girls on our JV team in one game where I was like, we're going to just do this, and this is going to happen. And our tournament game was actually our best game of the season, which was exciting and awesome. And then we had one girl foul out, and well, maybe phantom foul out, and then we had a girl get hurt, and we were down to 4 people, and we were like, well, we were actually really close to winning the game and going to the championship, and we were like, we have to play with 4 people right now. And so we did. And I only say that because you look at these girls and they're all, sweet and nice and everything else, but they were tough. They were so tough this season and played really hard, and we're just really proud of each one of them. And it's funny because the boys are like, boys, but the girls, it's like you feel like they're your kids or something. You feel like the boys are your kids, but you kind of want to punch them like they're your kids. The girls, you feel like they're your kids and you want to like hug them or something like that. You know what I mean? Like it's different. I'm just saying. So we just really love these girls and had a great season this year. And so we had a young team again here, but we want to just call out their names. It's Evie McClure is first. Also have Michaela Adams. And then this girl, she she's super shy. I know because she lives in my house. And she's real shy and quiet. She probably right now knows who I'm talking about and wishes I wasn't talking about her. She's so quiet. She doesn't want to hear her name called. She doesn't want anybody to talk about her. And she's just super shy. And so a lot of the season she was shy and quiet, but she has skills and she works hard. And so it was literally the last game of the season was her best game, and she came out and was just like dribbling the ball down the court and shooting the ball and doing all kinds of stuff. Not that she hadn't done any of that. I think she might have even scored our first points of the season. But she just woke up on that last game of the season, and we were like, if she plays like this every year, we're going to have it's going to be awesome. And so our most improved goes to Layla Stalman. And we have a cornerstone, and this is Layla's a 6th grader. This is another 6th grader who came in and was ready to go. There were several games where we said, we would hold Tiana and Emma out for a couple of quarters, or however we had to do it so that they could play on varsity too. And so there were times when we were just like, hi, you're a 6th grader and you have never played organized basketball, or maybe you have but not much. And we're going to ask you to be the point guard and pretty much run the team for the rest of the game. Are you good with that? And she was like, yeah, let's do it. And so she went out and played tough and played really hard, and she was awesome this season. And so we're just proud of Victoria Guzman. Then another cornerstone, a girl who just was ready and willing to do whatever, was a huge part of the team, was also ready to shoot half-court shots. There were times in practice that's all she did was shoot half-court shots, or at least a lot of the time, and we were like, in a game, just walk across half-court and shoot the ball. That's fine. We don't even care. Just put it up and get it at the rim. And I think there was one time she did it, right? And it went in, and it was the most exciting moment of our lives. But it's cornerstone for Tiana. And then our MVP is this girl was our leader in stats. She got held out a bunch of quarters because, there's the rule that they can only play a certain amount of quarters a night. And so we even held her out several quarters, and she still ended up being our leader in points and our leader in almost every category of our stats. She was a leader on the team and just a hard worker, and has also grown from last year to this year. A lot of responsibility was put on her shoulders this year to kind of just do all the things. Like, here you go, take this ball and go make things happen and be really good. And she did that and worked hard this season. And so our MVP goes to Emma Scoutmore. And that's our JV girls. Thank you. You play, Tiana and Emma, you guys stay. Varsity girls, come on up.
So this is unusual because I'm talking on the mic. Zach is passing. Anyway, proud of these girls this season. We had a great season. We lost our first game and didn't lose a game after it. I think we finished 13-1, I think it was. Gave us the best record in the conference, which made us the conference champions and put us as a 1 seed in the tournament. And we won in the tournament too, so. It was a tough season for us. We knew it was going to be a tough season, just because of the amount of players we have. We actually had 5 true varsity players, and me and Zach knew we were going to have to pull some JV players up to help. And like Zach was saying, in our conference we have quarter restrictions, so JV players can't play more in varsity, or if they're going to play more in varsity, they can't play as much in JV. So that was a challenge, but we pulled up Tiana and Emma, and Tiana did a great job stepping in when she needed to. Couple games where girls got tired, or maybe like a little stinger or something had to come out, Tiana would go in. She got on the boards, pulled down rebounds, even putting points on the board for us in some games. So yeah, Tiana made up. So our other JV player we had to pull up was Emma. She came up, and it was difficult because I think it was the 3rd game Abby went out with an injury. It was after the 3rd game. Abby went out with an injury, and kind of waiting for the doctor to find out, MRIs and things like that. It ended up where she was going to be out for the rest of the season. So a tough season was made tougher. So Emma just stepped up in that role and really helped the team out. I could tell you, talk about a game that we were playing Elfers in their gym, and we were down by 17, I think. I mean, it was one of those perfect storm games, and that's what Zach and I would say, the perfect storm game. It's like when they're hitting everything and we're missing everything, and then the refs are calling crazy fouls. So, towards the end of the game, we had girls that were in foul trouble, and we never stopped. Zach and I kept telling girls at timeout, just keep pushing, keep going. And I won't tell you the whole long story. It's just big dramatic. I have it on clips, and I watch it all the time because I just want to relive it again. But anyway, it was probably 4.5 minutes. We were still down by 17 points, 4.5 minutes left in the game. And we called a timeout, said, this is going to be the greatest comeback. We're gonna go out, we're going to match up, we're going to put pressure on them defensively. We got to hit some 3-pointers. So we went on a run. I think it was like a 15-0 run. And we had 15 seconds left in the game, down by 2. We had the ball under the basket. Emily throws the ball in to Emma, hits a shot off the backboard, gets fouled, goes backwards. So now we're tied up. And I mean, the whole gym was like, it was so loud in there, it was crazy. She steps up to the free throw line, bucket, hits it. We had 13 seconds left on the clock. We get a steal. Lauren steals the ball, runs the clock out. We win the game. It was crazy. So, most improved goes to Emma Stoughton. She just stepped up and did so much for us this year. So also, when Abby went out with an injury, we knew it was going to be tough, and I want to just commend her for sticking around this whole season. She was at every practice, didn't miss a practice, was on the bench at every game, had her jersey on, was up in the middle of every huddle, every timeout. Didn't matter. She was up. She was the one leading the charge all the time. She was, leading the chants and pumping the girls up, and really, really just stepped in and helped become a leader on the team. So Abby Alvaron is our. I'm going to give her a leadership award this year. So the next girl, she's always kind of been like the Energizer Bunny. She doesn't stop. She doesn't like to play offense. She'll tell you that. She doesn't like to touch the ball very much on offense. But she's a great passer. Towards the end of the season, Zach and I talked her into, because they were leaving her open. Take those open shots. Take the ball inside. You got a wide open lane. She'd get to the basket and hit some shots. But defensively, she was just. It was incredible. So in basketball, we look at the stats all the time when we go and we want to give awards. We look at the stats, and sometimes there's things that aren't on the stat. It's not on the stat sheet, So if we had a stat for points that weren't scored on us, like fast break stop, this girl would lead by way above everybody. So just as important as us putting points on the board, it's keeping points off the board as well. So from them. So we're going to give the defensive award to Emily. Hopefully she'll play a little more offense next year, because we'll need it. The next girl, she was our third leading scorer on the team. You give her an open look in the corner on a three-point line, she's going to hit it. She became not only offensively a weapon on the team, but defensively she really stepped up this year and became a leader on the team, and really became a cornerstone. So Brianna Branson is a cornerstone. All right. So our last girls are our seniors that are going to be really missed next year. They're kind of like peanut butter and jelly. You really don't say one name without saying the other name. So Jordan led our team in scoring. She averaged, I think, 22 points a game, which is pretty awesome accomplishment. Led the team in assists. Lauren led the team in rebounds and blocks, and pretty much averaged double-double for the season. So I don't know if you guys know what that is, but it's two categories, double digits in two categories. So in points and rebounds, she was a double-double pretty much every game. They just signed and committed to Trinity College, so we're going to be able to see them play next year. That's pretty exciting. So it's kind of hard to just give one MVP, because these two kind of complete each other as players. So our two MVPs go to our captains, Lauren Sadowski and Jordan Clark. I'm going to let Zach talk now.
Yeah, we're going to pray. We thank you again, everybody that's out here. Do we want to say something about the hoodies?
Oh, yes.
These girls won. Okay.
So guys, your parents have chipped in and bought you guys championship hoodies. I'm going to go and grab them, and I'm going to hand them to you. I totally forgot about this. Sorry, I should have done this before, but I forgot. Maybe you guys can hold them up for a photo or something.
All right. You guys can stick around and take pictures and everything else that you need to do. We're going to pray, and you guys just stay there. It's fine. But we're proud of all of our athletes, and thank you again to all the parents and everybody that's involved, teachers, everybody, staff. Thank you all so much. Let's pray. Father, we love you. Thank you for just the ability to use sports to honor you. We just love you so much and pray that you would touch every athlete, every team, every parent, every person involved in this, God, and just bless them. Help us to glorify and honor you with sports and with every part of our lives. Be with us. We know that you are with us as we go, and pray that you would just guide us and lead us. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Good night, everyone.
The jelly. Can I get those two hoodies in one and then with the flags in the other?